Alright, good day, folks. Everything new under the sun. Happy November 2nd. Hope you are all ready for November and the winter. If you're getting wood in, if you're getting supplies, now obviously is a great time to kind of figure out what you're doing there. Should some natural disaster come, or World War III break out, quite literally, possibly, you want to be stocked up on all the things you're trying to get for winter. If the power goes out, remember the first thing when World War III happens, they're going to take out communications, they're going to take out power. That's exactly what they've been doing in Ukraine. That's what they've been doing in Lebanon, in Gaza. Why? Because you take away the communication, and the enemy, whoever that may be, cannot communicate. You take away the power, they can't do anything. They can't move equipment. They can't operate machinery. They can't build things, right? So you need to be aware of that and have backup power solutions. So all that being said, here's a quick update on the strikes that are imminent at this point based on the news. Iran is talking about attacking Israel, again for their prior strike. And by the way, it seems that their prior strike was significant. If it was not, Iran would not be coming back and hitting Israel again. Canadian Prepper came out and said, well, Israel's strike on Iran was a nothing burger. Nothing happened. Apparently they absolutely failed. Well, Iran didn't think they failed, because if Iran thought they failed, they wouldn't be retaliating. Iran Supreme Leader Khamenei allegedly calls for a third attack on Israel. Now, the suggestion is that this is going to happen before the elections, i.e. November 5th, in a couple days. So it's imminent now. It is the weekend. Look for a strike in the middle of the night, whatever it may be. Israel also is looking to do another strike, a cleanup strike, when they're ready. Israeli intelligence warns of drones and missile threats as tensions rise. November 1st, 2024. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has reportedly ordered Iran's Supreme National Council to prepare a new attack on Israel, according to New York Times, citing 3 Iranian officials. The report says that Khamenei's decision was based on a recent assessment of the damage inflicted by Israel's October 26th airstrikes. So, a Canadian Prepper, I'm calling him out here because he said a bunch of stuff and said, you know what, Israel completely flopped on the October 26th airstrikes. Nothing happened. There's no satellite imagery, so it must have been a total flop. They failed. Iran's air defenses overwhelmed Israel, and they got nothing done. But now you have Khamenei coming out and saying, well, because of the damage inflicted from October 26, Israel strike, they're going to come and target Israel. So again, if it was a nothing burger, they wouldn't be doing it. And I don't think we know the half of what happened. Probably it was more significant than Iran even thought, and that's why they have to attack. They have no choice. It says, because of the damage inflicted by Israel's October 26 airstrikes, which targeted Iran's missile production facilities, air defense systems, and critical infrastructure. So mainly it went after the missile production facilities and disabled air defense systems. And remember, it doesn't mean they destroyed the air defense systems, but possibly they disabled them. How? Maybe they took out communication networks. Maybe there was a cyber attack and they inflicted damage via a cyber attack, a bug, a virus. Maybe they hacked into the air defense systems. They didn't destroy them. It's much easier to hack into these systems and disable them or destroy them than it is to go and actually destroy them with ordinances. So you don't have to see satellite imagery for Israel to get done what it needs to get done. And critical infrastructure, it reports. Earlier this week, sources in Jerusalem informed Axios that Israeli intelligence expects an Iranian strike originating from Iraq this time in the coming days, i.e. before the election. The anticipated attack will involve drones, ballistic missiles, presenting a new level of threat. Thursday night, the Israeli Defense Forces intercepted 2 drones approaching from the east, a direction often referring to Iraq, signaling possible Iranian involvement. An anonymous source told CNN on Wednesday that Iran's response would be definitive and painful, suggesting an imminent strike that could occur before U.S. election. Why before U.S. election? Because if Trump gets in, Iran is going to be in trouble. They're going to be bankrupt, and they know it. This is IsraelNationalNews.com. Khamenei's advisor, we could change our policy on nuclear weapons. This is a November 1st article. And again, they're warning this, which means they've probably already changed it. They're not gonna warn the enemy before they do something. So could this mean that they've already made a run for nuclear weapons? I think Israel Mossad is buried deep in Iranian intelligence and Iranian military. Israel probably has a very, very good idea of what Iran is doing and when they would be ready for to develop nuclear weapons. And so, I don't know what Israel knows, but I would trust that they know exactly what's happening via all their intelligence sources. So it says, Iran has the capability to develop nuclear weapons and may consider changing its policy on the use if confronted with an existential threat. So if they think Israel's going to do a massive attack on the nuclear sites, nuclear testing sites, and the development sites, then they could say, okay, we need to get going on this, and in their idea, covertly develop something. But I think Israel will be tipped off before that. Israel has incredible intelligence gathering facilities. And by the way, Zero Hedge, EU warns citizens to prepare for a nuclear disaster. European Union has warned citizens, the slave class, as presented by the writer, to prepare for a nuclear disaster. A report on matter further warned households under rulership should also be prepared for cyber attacks and use of chemical weapons. So everything is coming. They're warning their citizens. This is so that they can say, look, we told you so. And by the way, World War III is coming, and this is all these things: cyber attacks, nuclear attacks, conventional attacks, chemical weapons attacks. All these are going to happen during World War III because Russia, China, they're going to be throwing all that they can on the U.S. because they don't know what the U.S. has in terms of technology, defensive options, cyber technology. So when World War III starts, it's going to be, every man for himself. They're going to be throwing everything in the kitchen sink back and forth because neither side truly knows what they have in store for each other. And this is the EU. It's crazy that we're talking about this. This is the Cold War all over again. EU households are being told to stockpile basic self-sufficiency goods that would last for 72 hours for fear of potential shortages in case armed aggression through conventional means or other hostile activities such as cyber attacks or use of chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear weapons. Folks, you need some iodine to prevent against nuclear weapons. You probably need some Ivor. You know what I'm talking about. You need to get your medical supplies topped up. Band-Aids, isopropyl alcohol for cleaning wounds and such. You need all these things ready and prepared now because, by the way, when you decide to go to buy them and they happen to be things that are only created in China, it may be that one of China's biggest offensive weapons is the ability to turn off the supply chain. Yes, you heard me correct. When they decide to turn off the supply chain, you won't be buying anything. Prices of everything will skyrocket. Amazon warehouses will empty very, very quickly. It's going to be chaos. And really, a step below their economic weapon of mass destruction, which China could wage, i.e. dumping all U.S. dollars, it is their ability to really shut off the supply chain. And when World War III starts, you bet your bottom dollar that is one of their tactics. Remember, China, Russia, they don't have to destroy us with nuclear weapons or even conventional weapons. They just have to crash the economy, stop the supply chain. They are the supply chain. They are all the manufacturing facilities. They will continue creating goods for themselves, but will prevent goods from getting over here and products because we rely huge percentage. I don't know what it is, for sure more than 50% on cheap Chinese goods, products, manufacturing facilities. So you need to, if you're going to buy something, buy it now. If you're looking for components to fix circuit boards and such, which may be taken out by electromagnetic pulses, you still may have the ability to get some of those components right now. Capacitors, resistors, transistors, some basic things that should an EMP happen and take out some of your equipment, you may be able to repair it. Now people say, well, how can you repair your electronics after an EMP? Well, A soldering gun does not have any chips in it. It is simply a resistor. It gets real hot. As long as you have that solder and some flux, you can do a lot of repair yourself, actually. Um, Potentially repairing EMP destroyed equipment. Depends what it is, obviously. Maybe you can't replace a chip, but maybe you can replace a capacitor or a resistor that has been shorted because of massive current of an EMP. I don't know. I don't think any of us know exactly what it's going to take to repair it. You're going to have to be a MacGyver. If you don't know that reference, go Google MacGyver and watch all those 80s episodes of MacGyver, MacGyvering things, doing what he needs to fix things, to make new tools. You may have to be that person. So I'll leave there, guys. A little update. Be prepared for an attack imminently this weekend. This will be the last time for them to do it before the elections, and the weekend is when they do it, when the markets are shut down, by the way. So be prepared. Have your head on a swivel.